As the country prepares to enter level 4 of lockdown to ease the spread of the novel COVID-19, attention is now turning to the recovery and reopening of the economy. Since the initial announcement of the nationwide lockdown, so many businesses had to close down. So how can they begin to rebuild the strained economy and ensure that they are ready to navigate new business and economic normal? Well, Manzini Zungu is CEO of Pacinamix, and of course he's here to tell us about all that. Thank you very much for coming through, Manzini. Firstly, how can companies that have been on park mode try to rejuvenate themselves so that they can be active post level 5?
Thank you for having me. I think it is important that the opportunity to reopen the economy at this time, it is an opportunity for small business, medium business to reset, to restart, to start from ground zero, from bottom to build up going forward. I'm saying this because this opportunity that we have, it is an unprecedented times whereby we've never seen this in our entire lives. But we have to come back and open the economy in a way that it's going to be inclusive for a small business, for the township economy, and for the entire business as a whole, so that we really get to the times whereby we can feel that this economy is including of all of us as the major players in the economy of our country.
So how do business owners pace themselves in terms of anticipation and demand, given that businesses are not going to be on full mode in as far as operations are concerned? They have to do business with levels and staggers so that they shouldn't be undersupply or oversupply.
As you know, that the economy is going to be partially open from different phases, and of course we have to plan accordingly. What we've learned during this time, that those who can work at home must continue to work at home while they participate meaningfully in the economy itself. But it is more important as well that we don't forget the most important part, that this pandemic is still upon us. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So it is important that we are able to live with the virus itself, but we are careful that we cannot move the virus to infect other people. So it's going to be important that we plan, and we plan according to the phases that the government has given those phases to us. If it means that certain businesses can still impact the economy while they work from home, it is going to be important. But more importantly, it is to assist our health system to be able to be ready to assist if we get to certain levels that this cannot go beyond our control. So it is important for business to go back to business. Why I'm saying that? Because without business, the health system won't be able to be funded to assist the masses of our people.
So, Manzini, as we know that the backbone of business is cash flow, and those walk-ins will depend on how much income people have so that they can be able to buy. So now, if there is a problem for a business to depend on that, whereas on the other hand, post level 5, they need to prepare for the levels of survival, then they have to now thrive. And then from the thriving level, you have to go to profitability. This may not be full scale. So how do you pace yourself? Because it's tough to predict what will happen next. And of course, risk adjustment may take a different direction.
Oh, yes. And we just need to accept the situation that we are facing at this point in time, that most businesses have closed shops, and we don't even We are not sure how many businesses will be back in the economy going forward, how many jobs we would have lost at this point in time. So we're going to be pacing ourselves with what we really don't know. We're starting from zero, and we need the entire community of the business community, the government, to come together to restart this economy, because the opportunities, the economy that we had pre the lockdown has completely changed. We're coming to the economy of certain opportunities have gone, certain contracts won't be there. We're starting from zero. So it's going to be difficult to pace yourself. Are you pacing yourself with what opportunity that is out there? So we just need to get into a table and reset this economy. Are we opening to a economy, or are we opening to a no economy in our country? Those are the questions and the answers that we need to go and answer.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to also note that there is lockdown frustrations for businesses that were excluded for reopening. I mean, Manzini, let's take, for example, for those who are in the food and catering industry, you can only sell food and it's only for takeaways. But those who are doing catering may not. And also people are saying that, does it really make sense? You can go buy food at a restaurant, but only as takeaway. And then what about drive-through? I mean, like, is there a difference? You don't enter any outlet when there's drive-through. You are in your car, you place your order verbally, you don't have to touch anything. Even when you pay, you just tap when you are at the first window. And when you get to the second window, you just take your parcel and you go. So imagine that kind of lockdown frustration. What do people do when they say, but surely we can participate in this level 4, but we are being excluded now?
Yeah, look, without being hard to our government and our presidential command, I think we need to take the opportunity that we have of the delivery at this point in time. But I think that the drive-through, it's very important because it's the more safe way of getting your favorite meals. You don't get, like you said, you don't get out of your car. And I've seen when you go to test for this COVID-19, you don't have to be out of your car. They test you while you are inside your car. I believe that it will give an opportunity to make our people to get their favorite meals. But more importantly, it will bring certain people back to work, to start participating in the economy. I think the government needs to look into that, but of course we need to do that within the restrictions that are there. You don't want a situation whereby we go against the government, but I think it's important that when we're saying certain restaurants must be open for delivery, and we can do that with the drive-throughs, because it then assists the business to play the role meaningfully. It assists the business to be able to be part of the economy that they were not part of for the past 30 days, and they are able to pay their dues back to the government. They are able to pay their workers. They are able to save the jobs that might be lost if we're going for 60 days. So it is important to strike the balance between the two. And of course, while we exercise social distancing, maybe the takeaways and the sit down, we can look at those at the later stage. But I think it is important to look at the deliveries while we're looking at the drive-throughs, because you come through with your car, you get your orders and you go back home. And you do that while you are out to get your essentials, because we need to balance. You don't want too many people on the road while this situation is upon us.
Manzini, thank you very much. I believe it's not the first time we speak. Surely let's wait for level 3 if it does happen, and we will reconnect. Thank you very much for your time.